surrounding the case. And just in case you find yourself in the same situation, we give you potential actionable advice so that you can potentially get yourself out of the situation. Today, I have with me a very special guest, Dominique. Dominique is a native Illinois resident, just like myself. So I'm super excited to have her on the show. Dominique, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you, first of all, Dr. Jennifer, for having me on. I am a Chicago native, born and raised, have a set of twins, master's degree. I work for a nonprofit here in Chicago. I also have my own event consulting and decorating and home baking business, in addition to being a domestic abuse advocate. In short, that's me.
Well, honey, you are wearing many hats, sound like to
Yes.
me. You're like a mamapreneur. You're like an entrepreneur. You're just wearing all of the hats.
For sure.
When do you have time for all of this is my question.
Listen, you got to find the pockets. You got to find the pockets of
You got,
time.
I just saw something on Instagram and said you got to have 7 streams of income. So are you getting your 7 streams of income?
I'm getting there. I'm getting to the 7. I'm getting
I
to the
like
7.
that. I like that. So today you come to Criminal Justice Corner with an amazing, not so amazing backstory. So for our audience, I would love for you to start at the beginning to just tell us how your story began. Can you take us to the beginning of your story?
So, I'll just start with when I got pregnant, because if I go back to the beginning, we'd be here forever.
Okay.
So
We ain't gonna have the people here all day. Just some of their day. Okay.
So
What
I'll
you got
give
to
you a
say?
little bit of the very beginning. So we
Okay.
did meet online in
Ooh, was
2015.
it a dating website?
It was.
Okay, I like dating websites. We ain't gonna plug the dating website because they're not sponsoring us.
Right,
But
but
it was
I
an
wouldn't do
online
it
dating.
again. I
Okay.
wouldn't do it again.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put that out there. This
Okay.
was a horrible experience.
Okay.
So things were going well. He seemed to be a normal person. Introduced, we spoke online through the app for like a week. Then we decided to hang out. Great. Quite the charmer. Handsome, chocolate, big brown eyes, teddy bear eyes. He wore like a New York Yankees hat real low. So it was like all you saw was those eyes and those nice teeth. So he was really charming.
Tall, dark,
Graduated
and handsome.
tall, dark, and handsome, right? So
Okay.
he's telling me he graduated from Brown University. He's a veteran of the Air Force.
Educated, man in a uniform. Okay.
At the time, he was working at Hyatt corporate, making over 6 figures,
Okay. Man
traveling
with
all the
some
time.
income, good income. Okay.
Absolutely. Had a
Eligible
hobby.
bachelor.
Yep. Into photography, flew drones, all these things. So I'm like, oh,
He trying to get his
okay.
7 streams of income.
Potential, like straight up potential, marking all the tech. But I should have known if you was marking all these boxes, something should have been ding, ding, ding. But hey, that's neither here nor
Maybe.
there. Maybe. So fast forward.
Let's fast forward.
We're going to fast forward to 2018. This is
When
3
you're
years.
pregnant.
3 years in. Yes,
Okay,
this is when I found out that I'm pregnant.
At this point, are you guys in a relationship that whole time? Was it like off and on? What was that like?
It was more on than off.
Okay.
But typical back and forth relationship stuff. Like we broke up last week and we back together this week. Stuff like that.
That
At
happened.
the time when I got pregnant, we actually moved in together.
So y'all living together, you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, we were living together. I find out I'm pregnant. So this is at the end of September. Now, he likes to paint the picture that I told him I was pregnant like 6 months after I got pregnant, when actually I was still sitting on the toilet. When I text him, like, I need you to come home. We need to talk. He refused to come home. So I just text him what I need to tell him. I sent him a picture of the test with I'm pregnant. And he's like going off. So that was a trigger in itself. He just started.
He's going off of what do you mean going off? He's upset.
Like, how do you get pregnant? Because I was on birth control. Let me say that.
Okay.
I was on birth control. And obviously it failed me.
It failed you miserably because you had twins.
A double bubble. right?
Yeah.
So he's like, how did this happen? You said you were on birth control, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I am. We're both confused. So
It happens.
um whatever, time goes on. I don't even remember if he came home that night or whatever, but he's like, we need to go out to dinner and have a conversation, because he knew that it was least likely for me to clown in public than I would in the house.
Okay. Okay.
So fine.
You
All
want a
right,
civil
fine.
conversation.
A civil conversation. So he asked me to get an abortion. I was like, you're funny. We're like 33 and 34 years old. No. We just know that I'm pregnant. So that goes on. We go back and forth for a little while, and I'm like, we would never stay together, even if I was considering that as an option. We wouldn't be together. No, after, like, if I was to get an abortion, we wouldn't have been in a relationship anymore. So I was like, if you're gonna leave, you can leave now, because that's not an option for me. So he continued to clown, started harassing me, would bring me bottles of wine, like would want to play fight with me. And I'm like 165, 175 pounds. He's 250 pounds. Like right after I tell him I'm pregnant. So I'm like a week pregnant and you want to wrestle with me. Really? So that's when the first restraining order came into play, before I even had the kids. Yep. So I was able to break my lease, because he wouldn't give me the keys back and all this kind of stuff. So I moved back home with my parents, continued on with my pregnancy, swallowed the pill of being a single parent. The day after Valentine's Day 2019, he texted me like, we need to talk. Somebody told me you were pregnant. Well, my best friend, one of my really good friends, had put up a post on social media announcing that I was having twins. So he hit me up like right after that, like, we need to talk. Somebody told me you were still pregnant and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I told you that okay. So whatever. I grew up with both of my parents. My father's still in my life. My parents been married for 51 years. So I dreamed of having that in my life for my children. So trying to maintain that, I give him the benefit of the doubt. We can have a conversation. Now, let me go back a little bit. I look crazy for giving him the benefit of the doubt because of his antics surrounding when I got pregnant. Like, he literally basically told me I was a hoe in front of the police and my father, like asking who the father of her child is, and that ain't my baby, and she pregnant, and da 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 da, and all this stuff. And I'm just like, you have got to be kidding me at this point. Like, we've been together for 3 years at this point, and you treat me like you just met me last night. Okay. So forward back to where was I before I don't even know. But we broke the lease. Yep. So we broke the lease. I moved back home with my parents, and he disappeared, came back around in February, right? So I agreed, because I'm trying to keep the whole family dynamic thing together. I agreed to have a conversation with him, right? So okay. Okay.
Okay, so he's clowning at the police station in front of you and your dad, saying who was.
This is actually at our old apartment that he's doing all these
So your
things.
dad came to
Yeah.
visit.
No, my dad came because my dad is a retired police officer.
Okay.
So he came because I called him. Because the night so when I got pregnant and he started clowning, I told him, I said, when I come home from work tonight, you need to have all your stuff that you need right now, and you need to be gone.
And
I was gone from home for like 10 hours.
so when you say clowning, what do you mean by that? Is he yelling? What is he doing?
just all type of random stuff, like not coming home again, bring me big bottles of wine, just trying to stress me out on any level that he can.
Okay. Is he calling you
Wrestling with
excessively?
me and not really, not at this point, not yet.
Okay.
When the police get involved is when all of this started.
Okay.
Because he's like, how dare you call the police on me? Because he's a narcissist, so he wants to control the narrative. How dare you call the police on me? Even though I smiled at you like the Cheshire cat when you walked in the door from work, when you asked me, I said, I'm like, I thought I asked you to be gone. And he looked at me with the creepiest, like, devilish smile and was like, you want me to leave? Call the police. I said, no problem. I went in the bathroom and I locked the door and I called the police.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what you wanted me to do. So once the police were called, oh, I was all type of names in the book. Like, that baby ain't gonna never make it here.
Like
You're
y'all
gonna be an
haven't been together
ancient
for the past
mother.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Like, you're gonna be an ancient mother if that baby does make it here, and all these things. Like, all these things. Like, you're trash. Like, you need to find out who that baby is. I'm gonna forget all about y'all and go start a new family and blah blah blah. And this is all because I called the police. Like, what am I supposed to do? You 250 pounds. I'm 170.
Absolutely.
What are we gonna do with each
Nothing.
other? You gonna slam me into a wall and I'm gonna be the one but hurt. So no, I'm gonna call the people that can protect me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So based off of that situation, I got the first restraining order, right?
Okay.
So fast forward back to February when the pregnancy announcement that I was having twins enters play. Remember, my friend posted it on Facebook
Yes.
in like February of 2019. So he wants to have a conversation, me trying to be
Yeah.
nice and let the girls have their dad. Okay, fine, I'll talk to you. So we have a conversation. We agree to be, what do you call it?
Amenable.
Cordial
Okay.
to
Cordial.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. We agreed to be cordial to one another during the time. My baby shower was getting ready to come up in the next month or whatever. So he started helping with those things. And I'm like, are you coming? Because if you're coming, I need to prep people, like all these things.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody in my family disliked him because they knew what he was doing on the back end.
Right.
But me trying to keep my family together, I'm like, can y'all please just be nice? Like, just please. These
Absolutely.
are my first kids. These his first kids. Just please be nice. So whatever. He did not come to the baby shower. He did contribute a little bit financially toward the baby shower. And then at the end of the baby shower, he showed up talking about, and he wanted to like date me again at that point because I was just like so beautiful and all these things. Like, I'm 7 months pregnant and you want to date me again. So it was nice. Like, he did date me again. He started dating me again. He took me to a jazz club that night. Like, I drank wine in my third trimester. I definitely did. So I had like a glass of red wine. Like, we started hanging out again. It was cool. Like, we were cool. He was at the birth of the girls. Meanwhile, my family still does not like him on any level. And the first restraining order is still very active.
So the first restraining order is still active, but you guys are hanging out.
We're hanging out. And he's aware that I did not say anything to the police about canceling that restraining order. He's aware
Okay.
that it's very active. And if like any moment, if I want to be vindictive, I can call the police and be like, but that wasn't what I was on.
Okay.
I was literally just trying to keep my family together. So because I was staying with my parents when the girls were first born, he would get Airbnbs for us to stay together so that he could bond with the girls.
Because where was
So
he
I could bond
staying
with the
at
girls.
this point?
So he was staying there like this. I don't even know how you like it wasn't like a co-working space, but it's like a co-op kind of thing where like you share a bathroom and a kitchen, but you have your own bedrooms. It's kind of like a college setup, but it's like for regular people. And it was like in the West Loop. So he want to keep status going. He got to make it look like he live in a high rise downtown with the rooftops and all this kind of
But
stuff.
it's a
So
co-op living space and he just got a room.
exactly.
Oh.
So he was getting Airbnbs when they were first born so that we could all stay together comfortably, without the babies crying, waking up your roommate. So we did that for a while, and he was such a jerk to me during that time. Like, he was he was concerned about me having sex with him. Like, literally, the girls are like days old, He's concerned about me having sex with him or me giving him fellatio, or he left me one night with the girls like for maybe like 15 hours because he was mad. I guess he might have wanted to go out. Go out. That's all you had to do was say you want to go out. You didn't have to pick a fight with me and then make me feel like, because I'm in postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
You making me feel like something, like I'm doing something wrong to you, even though you being the jerk and you being the narcissist. Like,
so, but wait,
I had blind.
What's the point of the Airbnb if he gonna leave for 15 hours? You could have just stayed at home, and you and the girls.
Thank you. So eventually, that's what I did. I went back home after he threatened to kill them if he found out they weren't his.
So, did you get a DNA test?
Yeah. And Cheapo didn't only want to test one because they're identical.
Girl, please.
I swear. He only tested one and it came back 99.9999999% you the pappy.
I've never heard of such in all my days. And I used to work in child support court. I've never in all of my days heard of such.
Yep. This was even before court. He got this done on his own. Yep. They were like maybe 4 months old. Not even, because it was hot outside. They had to be a couple of months old.
Okay, so he has the DNA test. He knows the girls are his. What happens next?
Things are going okay. He's trying to paint this picture like he's super dad, but like he's trying to make them
online
part
at this point that he's spending a lot of time with.
Yeah, we have a shared Instagram page, the Berkeley Twins page. We shared that page in the beginning.
Okay.
So yeah, we're all going around like a family and hanging out, making videos, taking pictures, all these things. But in his head, he's creating a brand for like Black dads, using them for like bait, like creating all these videos and pictures to paint himself out to be like this fabulous dad. When I was the cameraman, you not by yourself with them. I'm the cameraman. Stop it. And don't let me ask you to get them if I have something to do. Oh, you too busy. You not gonna babysit your own kids because you too busy. No, we're not doing this for the next 18 years. We're not.
Wait a minute. So he's only a dad, you're saying, when the camera's rolling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
When we would go out to eat or to the mall, yeah, hold the bag, get a shot of me pushing the stroller on my hoverboard.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I'm assuming you get tired of that. So what happens next?
So I'm still being like, you really making me upset, but again, trying to keep the daddy around.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to be quiet and just ignore some of these things. So enters pandemic, right?
Oh my gosh. Here we go.
So the pandemic comes and I'm still staying with my mom and with my parents. And he's like, I don't feel comfortable coming over there because my parents don't like him.
Right,
so the energy was just off.
Mhm.
He can feel that. So he's like, I don't feel comfortable coming over there to see my kids. Everything's shutting down. Can y'all just come stay over here with me? Like, and this time he moved.
Oh, okay.
He moved. He was staying in an Airbnb, a corporate apartment. It wasn't in his name. Long story. Again, if I told you everything, we'd be here forever. So he moved and he was living downtown on Michigan Avenue, like right next door to the Essex Hotel. He had like a 2-bedroom condo.
Okay.
So fine, whatever.
Now.
We are not in a relationship, but I'll coexist with you so you can have a relationship with your children.
Absolutely.
During this time, because we don't know what's going on. Fine. I'm the only one having to leave the house to go to work. Now, he was with them for like little chunks of time because I would have to go to work, do a few things, and then return.
Okay.
So he would be with them by himself for a couple hours or whatever, but it wasn't like you're parenting. You know what I'm saying? You watching them for a little bit. They probably sleep because they were still like a year old.
Okay.
So whatever. Pandemic comes, we coexisting. He finally gets a chance to get out the house. This is his first time out the house in like 3 months.
With the girls?
No.
Bad stuff.
Just period, because we were on lockdown.
Down. Right. Okay.
Everything was shut down. So a narcissist in his head, like he thrives off of attention
Okay.
and like ego feeding. So him not being able to get outside and like be around people and like let that energy go, it was just bottled up, and he was so happy to get outside. So he went to the store, and I said, hey, Mackenzie has a diaper rash. Can you grab some cornstarch and I asked him to get some type of oil for their hair.
Mm-hmm.
He called me from the store and cursed me out.
What?
You stupid. I'm like, what? Just exactly your reaction. What?
Why?
So I guess he couldn't find what I was asking him to find at the store. I have no idea. It wasn't like I was calling him like, what time are you coming back? How long is it going to take you? I hadn't called him. Nothing. So he called snapping on me like that. I said, okay, no problem. I called my parents. I said, can y'all come help me get my stuff so we can move back to y'all house? That's what they did. They came and got me and my stuff. Next couple of days, he threatened, you don't take my kids from me, and ain't nobody gonna come between me and my kids. And if I gotta come to your house, it's gonna be a shootout between me and your dad, or me, your dad, and the CPD. I'm coming to see my kids. So he came to my parents' house clowning, like threw a bottle at their house and all
What?
these things. Mind you, this restraining order is still active. Okay? Very active. So he got locked up for clowning in front of my parents' house because he threw a bottle in. Again, my dad is a retired officer. We live in the district he retired out of and worked in his whole career. The whole station came and locked him up. When they got him to the station, they found knives wrapped around his ankle. So then he went to the mental ward at St. Anthony's.
My question is this. Why couldn't he come ring the doorbell like a normal person and say, can I see my girls for a little while?
That's a great question. I'd love to know the answer as well.
Why did he have to throw a
Because that was an
bottle?
option. That was an option. I was like, you're more than welcome to come and see them. Because he's like, they could just come stay with me. On what planet? And then I could come visit. You're more than welcome to come here and visit them whenever you want. You can stay however long you want. But no, we're done with that whole coming down there to stay with you thing.
Because
No.
just because you went to your parents, you didn't say you can never see them again. You just went to your parents. And
I went back home.
yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you just went back home. You didn't say you can never see them again. And he said it was going to be a shootout. You, why couldn't he just ring a doorbell and say, hey, can I see the girls?
It's a great question. Like, why did you go to the extreme rather than being like, okay, fine. If I got to see my kids this way, then that's how I'm going to see my kids. If somebody gave me a plate of dog poop and told me this is how you got to see your kids, I'm going to figure it out. Okay. I'm going to get it down some kind of way.
But you didn't even do that. You just went to a different location and you were there. You didn't say you can't come here. Of course, there was the restraining order, but you were not enforcing that at that time. You
Nope.
just went to a different location. He might have been uncomfortable, but it wasn't like anybody was threatening him at that location.
Correct.
He was threatening you guys before he even got to the location.
Correct. Like, my parents didn't like him, but they were like, for the sake of the girls, he can come see his kids. But he just took it to the extreme first. And I have no idea why he lashed out like that. Because he couldn't get what he wanted. He was no longer in control. So, and I wasn't bending on that, and he was upset. So, fast forward,
After he got
he
arrested
gets,
and released, I'm assuming, and he gets out of the
yep, he
mental
gets
ward.
out.
What
They
happened?
get him, he gets put on medication,
Oh,
right? And when he's on medication, he's
so
wonderful.
is he has a mental diagnosis or?
They diagnosed him with something there while he was there because of the episode,
Okay.
but I think he is undiagnosed sociopath.
Okay.
Honestly, on top of being a narcissist.
But they gave
But they
him some
diagnosed
type of
him
medication.
for manic depressive bipolarism.
And when he
So,
takes his medication, in your opinion, he's good. When he does not
yep,
take his medication, then he tends to have outbursts.
yep, and we're all witnessing that. And he only abides by the medication thing when when he's in court and when it's court ordered,
Okay.
which is what I asked the court for in our parental allocation issues. Like, just prove to me that you are a mentally stable person by going to see a psychiatrist and being on medication, and proving to the court that you are taking that medication by random drops. He didn't want to do that. So here we are.
Okay. So now we're fast forwarding because
I just mentioned that, but yeah.
No, I'm saying we're fast forwarding because he's out of the mental hospital. You have the girls at your parents' house now. Where are we?
So around this time, I'm in the process of getting my own place.
Okay.
So I'm getting my own place. I move. He's doing better.
Okay.
I'm allowing him to see the girls.
Absolutely.
We are not like a co-unit. We're not coexisting. We're not together in a relationship. I'm just allowing him to see the girls. He got put on house arrest after that.
Okay.
So I would take the girls to see him and we would go home.
Okay.
So after that whole stint was over with, the charges were dropped. He gets off of medication and enters the crazy again. But in the interim, I told him, I said, listen, if I see any inkling of that crazy mess again, this is over with. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, you don't just get to disrespect me. Like, you're not going to keep doing it.
Okay.
Like, you,
which is reasonable because you can't keep doing the same thing expecting the same results. So that's reasonable.
Exactly. That's called insanity.
That's very reasonable. Okay.
So a month or so goes by, and then I introduce a conversation like, hey, do you want to try this relationship thing between us again and be a family? He's like, whatever. I should have ran for the hills then. Should have been like, you know what? Let's just leave it the way it is. Like, just whatever. So about a month goes by, and the holidays were coming up, and I've been asking him to hang my TV on the wall so that I could put the Christmas tree up. He didn't do it. So I hired somebody to do it. Now it's like my brother-in-law's brother. So I hire him to do it. He was on his way to see the girls. He finds out that I have somebody there hanging my TV. He spazzes out. Like, mind you, he not paying my rent, light bill, nothing. He's paying for my daycare what do you call it? Thank you. He's paying my copay for daycare, which is like $250. He paying my cell phone bill, which is like $150. You giving us $400 a month for a set of twins. Okay. But you're mad because I hired somebody to do this thing for me that I've been asking you to do. How dare
and you're
you
paying
have
for
somebody...
that person to do it. You didn't ask him to pay for it.
Sure did not. How dare you have somebody come over your house and I'm on my way over there. I ain't dressed for this and that. I'm like, what? So I'm on the phone with him and my brother-in-law's brother is hanging the TV. So I hang up the phone. I'm like, listen, if you coming, you coming. If you not, you not. Whatever. So I hang up the phone and he starts texting. He started calling me all out my name and like, listen, literally the night before, you would have thought we was like finna get married or have another baby or something. Like, yeah, like literally the night before all of this. Like, I look at my phone, he's calling me all type of B words and like just spazzing out because I have somebody at my house hanging up the TV. So he never shows up, right? Never shows up.
Okay.
We get into it real bad. I'm like, listen, you disrespectful and I don't want to talk to you again. So I sought out a third party, somebody that we both knew. I told her, you can come and get the girls. Take them to him. Y'all could do whatever because I knew she liked him. Girl, I don't care. Y'all could do whatever. Bring my kids back to me. And we could do it like that. He cannot contact me. Period. He didn't like that. He disappeared for 3 months. Missed Thanksgiving, Christmas of 2020, and missed the New Year of 2021. My birthday is at the end of January. So at the end of January 2021, he sends a message through the third party because I have him blocked. You're not finna call me at all, sir.
Okay.
So he sends a message. Tell Dom I said happy birthday and this is the best. I hope this is the best year of her life and blah blah blah. I said you tell that manipulative person to not message me unless it's about the kids. Okay? That's it.
Okay.
So he got mad and that's when he started stalking us
What?
again. I'm sitting outside the girl's daycare and I'm on the phone with one of my homegirls and I just see him ride past. I'm like, girl. She's like, girl, shut up. I said, I swear to God. I said, stay on the phone. Let me see if he circled the block. He circled the block.
No.
So I had to call my dad. I had to call my dad to go and to come pick us up because, you know, he armed.
Yeah.
And escort us home. Well, little did I know there was a tracker on my car. Yeah, that's how to go. There was a tracker on my car. Little did I know. So they found out where I lived because where I was living, the last place they knew me to live, I moved. So you shouldn't know where I live at all. At all. But this same day, I get a text message from a spoof number. Are you going to bring my kids outside to see me? I'm parked in front of this green van you parked behind. What? I'm sorry, what?
I would have been like, wait, what is going on?
I went and got a new car shortly after that. He like, congratulations on your new car. I said, who got a new car? What are you talking about? Exactly.
So did he put a new tracker on the new car?
No, the tracker was probably left at the dealership on the old car because I traded it in.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably figured that out. Like it's at a dealership and it's been sitting there for a minute. Like, yeah. So.
But then did he stop stalking you for a while?
No. Like physically, probably because he moved to Florida shortly after that because he was clowning so bad in court. He would never submit any financial documents to the court to prove like how much child support he showed. Mm-hmm. He never submitted anything. So they locked him up. They held him in contempt of court. They locked him up. And like he had to pay $2,500 to get out. And the judge ordered it to come to me for his rearage.
Right.
That he wasn't paying.
Right.
And then right after that, when he got out, he moved to Florida.
Now, are you in contact with any of his family?
Yes.
And what do they say about all of this?
He treats them the same way that he treats me.
Why is that?
Because they support me.
Okay, so he moves to Florida. He is, I would say.
And this is when all of this starts, like the cyber stalking and the cyber harassment. This is when he starts soliciting people on Facebook to like get pictures of us and stalk us in real time here in Chicago. Because he was like a micro influencer here. He has a huge following, like 12,000 followers. So he was paying for ads targeted within a half-mile radius of my house to have random people take pictures and videos of us. I said, do you know people are willing to cluck me upside the head to take them? And what's going to happen if they don't bring them to you? Did you think about that?
And what'd he say?
I didn't ask him that, but these are the things that I'm like, did you think about that?
Mm-hmm. So he moves to Florida and starts cyber stalking. What does this cyber stalking look like?
So I have had to, in my restraining order, I've had to put like, you can't post pictures of me. You can't have anybody like come look for me. You can't post videos of me because he has intimate videos of me and I know him. He had a whole website. He paid for a website for one of his ex-girlfriends. And like when you Google her, it was like a sex site. And that was the first thing that would pop up. Yeah, crazy. So I had that put in my restraining order. You can't post those type of things about me. Like you can't. So he started to solicit. He was just asking random people or just posting, hey, I'll give you $25 for a picture, $50 for a video. And then like came a post like, I'll give you $10,000 if you can arrange a meeting between me, her, and my kids. Like
$10,000.
Yeah,
People
he was still pictures of
do more for less.
Exactly. I actually had somebody hit me up on my business email, like trying to get the $10,000, like trying to arrange this meeting. Like, yeah, people are out here doing it. And he was like, hey, how you doing? I'm a struggling dad. I'm just trying to support my family. I said, boy, you are nuts. And I'm giving your name to the sheriff. Like, don't you ever contact me again. Like, F you and your family. I'm sorry, but not. Like, are you serious right now? Yeah, people was really participating. really participating, like taking photos from my page and like editing them himself, or he would make me look really fat. Or I remember once I was inducted into the Black Women's Professional League, and he took that photo with me holding my kids' hands. He took that photo, and like the medal around my neck, he made it say throat goat, and the backdrop behind me say throat goat. Why would I take my kids to an event like that?
What?
Yeah. Like, he's super technologically savvy. I give it to him. He's super smart. Self-taught. Super smart. Super smart with the technology stuff. Super smart. But yeah, he done tried to open up credit in my name, my
No.
mama's name. He done sent DCFS to my house. He opened up a case with DHS with the girls on his case. So I had to prove to them that they lived with me to keep my benefits. Yeah.